This is a real-life prison time story, not a staged reunion conflict. How did this reality TV drama turn into a full-fledged criminal scene with a furious altercation between Ems and Kirk Frost? Young Mona Scott. Was it because someone had had enough of Kirk's incessant blather, or was it because of Yandy Kendra? Punches were thrown, furniture flew, and security failed to break up the fight, according to witnesses. At the moment, Kirk and I are dealing with serious legal problems. Was Yandy bail N absent? Is Rashida's relationship with Kirk finally over? While all of this was going on, where was young Jock? You won't believe what we have, so don't even go. We have the leaked footage and all the details. Really went down. So sit down, hit like, and let's discuss Kirk Frost and Insanity Maze. This may be the most strange disaster ever, but these two people already have enough baggage to fill an entire season of love and hip-hop. Are you saying that these two grown men, fathers, and alleged business people were simply arrested for a brawl that should have happened in a WHE ring? Oh, and remember those who initiated it, because trust me, Yandy, Kendra, and Young. Let's be clear before we delve into the details of this messy takedown. Mendeecees and Kirk have a history of drama, including financial crimes and adultery scandals. Somewhere nearby, Jock was stirring the stew as if it were Thanksgiving. Commotion, but this time it's more than just rumors. What exactly happened that resulted in them being arrested, having their mugshots taken, and possibly facing some serious charges? People are talking on the streets, the internet is shaking, and even the police had to step in and say, enough is enough. Trust me. This is reality TV gone wild, so you'll want to grab some popcorn. Naturally, it all started at a fancy nightclub in Atlanta, where Kirk Frost, who has spent the past decade proving that he is the definition of untidy, was featured. Was observed approaching Rashida, a woman who was definitely not his wife, a little too closely. After all these years of humiliation, you would think that he would behave a little more rationally. But Kirk was in full irresponsible mode, sobbing, drinking, and mumbling sweet nothings. Let's just assume that Mendeecees was already irritable because he was in the same club. He was talking into this mystery woman's ear as like he didn't have a whole marriage on the line, despite rumors that he had been arguing with Yandy all day about something that occurred on the Love and Marriage. The hip-hop set claimed that Yandy was still resentful of the whole fake wedding situation from years prior. Remember how Ems gave Yandy the impression that they were lawfully wed, only to find out later that the documents were never. Mendeecees is already irritated as he sits in VIP, attempting to enjoy his evening, when he observes Kirk across the room. Not just Kirk, but Kirk seems to be extremely comfortable with someone else. Yes, without a doubt, she isn't forgetting, and she wasn't going to let him forget either. This would normally be En's worry, ladies, but remember that Yandy and Rashida are close, and these reality stars thrive on upheaval. What does Mendeecees do when Yandy finds out that he saw Kirk crawling and said nothing? That was the last thing Mendeecees needed. Decides to go straight to Kirk because, well, why not add a little fuel to the fire? Without any warning or build-up, the same ends came over to Kirk's section and called him out. Kirk, of course, did what he always does and tried to. He dismissed it with a standard come on man that was supposed to improve the situation, but Mendeecees wasn't having any of it. Raising his anger, he declared that Rashida didn't deserve this and that Kirk was once again demeaning his family. Additionally, Kirk claps back, adding, "Man, worry about your own marriage before you start preaching to me." If you know Mendeecees, you know that was not the right thing to say because, let's be honest, he is not a saint and should be ashamed of himself. Someone confronting Kirk about his marital issues is the last thing he wants, and that's exactly what occurred. Drinks flew, Mendeecees lunged at Kirk, and security tried to stop it, but it was already in motion before anyone could stop it. Young Jock, could you blink? Indeed, young Jock was trying to break them up in some way. We may never fully understand why Jock was there, but one thing is for sure, he started to diffuse the situation rather than improve it. You two need to stop talking so much about men. Wilden, Kirk has been out here before, and this isn't the first time. Dee then looked to Jock. The club was now in total disarray, with patrons shouting, keep things in order. Kendra entered the room just as it appeared like nothing could go wrong. The look on Kendra's face was priceless because she should have been at home taking care of her business. But instead, she strolled straight into the middle of the commotion. When I say that the drama swiftly jumped from a 10 to a 100, I mean it. Not only did Kendra see her husband fighting, but she also saw the woman Kirk had been seeing. So she lost it and started screaming and pointing fingers. The police had shown up, and security might even be able to contain the situation, as the flashing red and blue lights filled the room. Kirk Frost and Mendeecees appeared in handcuffs, looking like two fools who couldn't control their egos or keep their hands to themselves. The nightclub's tense mood gave way to one of pure terror. The security personnel were exhausted from attempting and failing to maintain order, as people were hurriedly snatching phones and recording every second. With all of this going on, Mendeecees and those police officers knew they had a severe problem when they first arrived at the club and saw the scene. Tables were overturned, beverages were spilled, and people were yelling. Kirk Frost continued to talk trash and was still enraged. Guess who they targeted first when they started making arrests? You're right, Kirk and Mendeecees. Let's face it, Mendeecees was devastated to see those policemen coming at him. This individual was most recently on parole after serving time in prison and enduring years of legal drama. Kirk was trying to act calm by telling the police, "Come on, man, this ain't nothing, just a little misunderstanding," according to witnesses. But Kirk still thought he could talk his way out of it, even though all he needed to do was be placed back in handcuffs. They weren't believing it, especially because a number of people had previously told them that Kirk and Mendeecees started the fight. Young Jock, who had so far been able to dodge handcuffs, was still talking about. Things took an even more dramatic turn just when it appeared that Kirk and Mendeecees were the only ones falling, because remember Kendra well, and now you're locking them up for a little club drama like, sir, you actually fueled the fire. You might want to skip this one. Baby Kendra was complaining about the woman Kirk was meeting and tried to swing on her while the police dealt with Kirk and Mendeecees. You heard right, Kendra the classy wrote about. That's it, she's coming with us too, said one of the police officers after they were done, and Kendra realized that the lawyer had completely lost all professionalism and had entered a state of love and hip-hop. She leaped toward the woman and had to be stopped by security. Yandy was watching the entire situation play out like a movie premiere, but she wasn't going to let Ems go to jail without causing a stir, so she ended herself in the back of a police car with her husband. Oh hell no, you guys aren't taking my husband over this nonsense, Yandy said as she rushed over, but the police weren't feeling very amenable. Yandy quickly changed direction and said, "What?" One of them turned to face her and said, "Ma'am, if you don't back up, you're coming too." She is skilled at picking fights, but you still want to talk about her. Kirk, Mendeecees, and Kendra are now behind bars as a result. And as you are well aware, the publishing of those mug photos sent the internet into a frenzy. On TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, memes were going viral. People were mocking me for being Atlanta's most indifferent spouse, mocking Kirk for cheating again, and mocking Kendra for flinging her hands like a reality star. According to one tweet, Kendra got into arguments with side chicks while her husband was behind bars. Kirk is informed that Rashida won't be assisting him this time. In addition, where was Rashida throughout this whole ordeal? Sources claim that she was at home going about her regular activities when she suddenly, according to insiders, Rashida lost her temper during the phone conversation about Kirk's arrest. Pack your bags, we're getting a divorce kind of done due to the fact that, let's be honest, Kirk has been embarrassing this woman for years, and at some point enough is enough, she stated. Kirk assumed that he could make things better, but it turns out that this man was phoning Rashida from jail and trying to hit her with the same hackneyed arguments that he has been using for 10 years. If you're wondering what Rashida did, she hung up on him. Insiders claim that she didn't even permit. Kirk will never learn if he hasn't already. Let's go back to the jail scenario, where Kendra and Kirk Mendeecees were incarcerated as they awaited the charges. Click, she said, and went on to describe her day. At this point, they were juggling a long list of offenses, including public intoxication, disorderly conduct, assault attempt, and everyone was racing to decide who would post fail. Let's start by acknowledging that not everyone felt generous. According to rumors, DC was released right away after Yandy declined to post bond. You heard right. She was upset and wanted him to spend a little time in there thinking about what he had done while Kirk was banking about Rashida's arrival. But he had to start re-evaluating everything in his life following that phone call. Sources claim that young Jock was working behind the scenes to get Kendra out of jail because, let's be honest, Jock would be searching for her if she had to stay there even for one night. Filed divorce papers the next day, but the whole matter was still being consumed by the internet. Even some celebrities couldn't resist joining the conversation as fans compared side-by-side milk photographs and reality stars shared their thoughts. On Instagram, 50 Cent, yes, 50, made the most dubious comments. He wasn't lying when he claimed that Man Love and Hip Hop had more arrests than the Super Bowl, but the judge wasn't going to give them a pass because, as you may remember, this wasn't a little matter. The mood in the courtroom suddenly changed as the judge saw the witnesses and the camera evidence from the public altercation at a fancy club. The judge sat with his hands shaking and his arms crossed, and you could literally feel the tension change. They remarked, "Oh, so this is what we're dealing with." Everything was caught on tape, including Kirk and his sloppy hands, Kendra's tired but battling security, and the police stepping in as if to break up a WrestleMania match. If it wasn't sufficient, they recorded, "I know you didn't just treat me that disrespectfully, Kendra, so watch yourself yelling. This was no longer just a little bar brawl, dude. Bro, you don't want these problems." Kirk's ranting got me all worked up. Kirk and Kendra just sat there, unimpressed, as the judge said, "So let me get this straight. You three grown adults thought it was appropriate to turn a high-end nightclub into a WWE SmackDown event." After the terrible silence, the judge started to break it up. M's initially appeared to be kids caught stealing candy. "Mr. Harris, you of all people should know better," the judge continued, looking him in the eyes. "You've had legal issues in the past. You've been on the straight and he tried to remain calm, saying, 'Your Honor,' but the judge cut him off, stating, 'Oh no, it was exactly like that, because I just watched the footage.'" Kirk then had his time. Narrow. And now you're back in my courtroom for what should have been a trivial nightclub altercation. And now, the judge was ready, Mr. Frost. "I feel almost embarrassed for you since you are a middle-aged man who is causing trouble in clubs like a reckless teenager. And let's not forget that your lack of loyalty and carelessness started the whole affair." With your complete lack of self-control, Kirk sat there silently, almost wanting to disappear. And then Kendra, an attorney who should be the more composed one because she is knowledgeable about the law, finally. "I just saw you try to assault a woman in public. Do you realize how unprofessional and absurd it looks?" Kendra was weeping. "Mrs. Robinson, the disappointment was real. You should enforce the law, not break it." Even though she knew she had erred, the judge, based on the facts, chose to do the following. "Mr. Frost, you will be fined $10,000 and have to go through mandatory infidelity and anger management counseling." Yes, you heard me say that. As a judge, Kendra Mrs. Robinson remarked, "Perhaps some time away from the nightlife will help you reflect on your choices." The judge then proceeded to M's, Mr. Harris, and said, "Given your past criminal history, I'm sending you to 30 days in county jail. For your actions tonight, legal professional, you will be put on professional probation, fined $55,000, and required to complete a public misconduct rehabilitation program. You risk losing your license right away if you commit any further violations." His only thought was, how am I going to explain this to them? And he'd appeared ill. He was muttering something like, "This is some bull," when Yandy shoved him like, "Boy, shut up before they give you more time, Kirk." Rashida, who was 2 seconds away from a full-blown outburst, was out there posting cryptic Instagram stories as if a queen knew when to go, while Kirk sat in court looking stupid. Twitter was blazing, dragging Kirk everywhere, and the most unforgettable moment was when someone changed Kirk's face to appear in a picture of Rashida walking. Bro, it went from "I'm the man of the house" to "I'm in court for acting recklessly at the club." Non-negotiable followers were devouring it. The shade came when Yandy denied an interview and said, "We're handling everything privately. As a family, Ems made a mistake, and we're working through it." In the meantime, Yandy was out there repairing the damage with sayings like, "You see what occurs when individuals don't know how to handle it." For example, some men forget they're too old for this kind of drama, which was directed at Ems. Jug also spent the entire night talking about men on Instagram Live. "I tried to warn them, sir, but weren't you the one talking them up?" According to insiders, the company issued a statement that basically said, "We do not condone unprofessional behavior," Lawyer told for. Thus, Kendra is in a tough spot. One of 50 Cent's most amusing responses was, "Imagine earning your law degree only to wind up on the do not hire list because you wanted to fight over Kirk Frost tragically." 50 Cent published a meme with Kirk and M's mug photos once more. What comes next? Kirk is frantically trying to save his marriage. Mendeecees is counting down the days until he's free. Kendra is hoping her legal career lasts. And Rashida is ecstatic. Love and Hip Hop Locked Up Edition will be on VH1 soon. And to be honest, he might not be mistaken. What do you guys think? Will Kendra lose her job? Will Mendeecees really spend 30 days in jail for a brawl at the club? Or is this the end of Kirk and Rashida? Let's talk about it in the comments area, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because baby, this tea is still boiling there. You have total chaos, M behind bars, Kirk getting humiliated, Kendra fighting for her career, and Rashida finding her peace like a true queen. It went from a nasty club brawl to a full-blown legal nightmare very quickly, and the real question is who is really at fault in this case. Was Kirk just being Kirk and finally getting what he got? Or should Ems have fled instead of yelling? And did Ra just throw away her entire argument? One thing is certain, love and hip-hop never let you down when it comes to disaster. But this might be the most disgusting scandal to yet. And you all know that there will be more consequences from it. A breakup's imminent. Career over a man who continues to embarrass her despite the situation. Please let me know which side is involved in the lawsuit, or even a last-minute VH1 cast meeting. Is Rashida at last done with? With Kirk Forum, Kendra's career is over. And do you guys think I'm worthy of the 30-day penalty, or did the judge also take action? Hush, share your thoughts in a comment, because I have to hear what you think. Furthermore, remember to kindly follow the channel and give this video a like, and hit that warning button because, baby, this tea is still piping hot. You know, I have more exclusives planned. Your demeanor